Happy Easter and happy Jesus and Judy Day. I love you guys. It was really a great day. Kids' church was fun. Adult church was fun. And I ate too much. Hello. It's a Jesus and Judy Day. I got some cheese cubes. I took coffee to church. Just coffee with my usual coffee. And then what I do is, after kids' church, I go and kind of top it off. I used, decaf. Hang on now, because he left us hanging with the big takeaway. He never told us. So I had to go out and ask our other pastors what the big takeaway was. I'm hot. Hang on. You're going to get a double duty today because I had kids' church. And we were in with the big kids for the message. And it's called All Wrapped Up. And so he was talking about John 19, verse 30. When he had received the drink, Jesus said, "It is finished." With that, he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. And then he said that the word that Jesus used for "it is finished" translate to paid in full. And it says Jesus loved. He's asking them, the kids, what do you think held him on the cross? Nails? Yeah. He said no. He said it was Jesus' love for us. Because Jesus could have got down off that cross if he really wanted to, but he didn't. He knew. He wanted us to be with him in heaven. So it was Jesus' love for all of us. Me and you and you and you and you and you and you. That's what held him on the cross. And then John 20, verse 7. And the handkerchief that had been around his head, not lying with the linen cloth, but folded together in a place by itself. He said, back in those times, a person would have their handkerchief, and a servant would watch their master. And so he said that if the master, mistress, whatever, had that handkerchief and they just dropped it on the table in any kind of way, they knew that they were done. But he said if that master folded up their napkin and laid it to the side, it meant they were coming back. And so he said that the reason why Jesus folded that handkerchief that was around his head is because he's coming back. So we went on to John 14, verse 28. It said, "You have heard me say to you, I am going away and coming back to you." So the message notes for the kids was, he's coming back. Then the last one was, Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him, Rabboni, anyway, which is teacher. Jesus said to her, "Do not cling to me, for I have not yet ascended to my Father. But go to my brethren and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene came and told the disciples that she had seen the Lord and that he had spoken these things to her. So the other thing we have to do is share the message. So then got to talking about candy, and all the kids, we had to break down in little groups, and kids had to try to describe their favorite candy and have the others guess it. And then we had to try to match that candy to God. So that was an adventure. Anyway, so now listen, you guys, I'm going to tell you what Pastor Chris talked about. I am in no way going to do this justice. Quite a bit of it was kind of over my head. So I really feel like this is a service that you need to watch. The link to my church is in the description of every video of mine. So go to the link and watch this video. Again, I'm not going to do it justice because, again, some of this stuff is kind of like, I won't say it's over my head, but like right here, to where I have to really think to comprehend it all. So hang on just a second. All right, like I said, I'm going to try my best, but please know you really, really should go to this church, or go to watch my church. So the topic today is What is Truth by Pastor Chris Vaught. And he talked about how Pilate spoke Latin. So when he would have asked Jesus, what is the truth? He did some word finagling, and he said what that would have, if you used all the letters and what his question was, you rearrange them, and basically it means, I am him who stands before you, something like that. Again, go watch the video. So number one. Wait. Is that number one or number A? Let me look. I don't see A, so I'll start with that. So, oh yeah, when he was talking to, so this is when Jesus was talking to Pilate. He says, you say that I'm a king. Jesus replied, I was born for this, and I've come into the world for this, to testify to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth listens to my voice. Pilate said, what is truth? And that's in John 18, verse 37 to 38. And then we go to, there's three different types of truth. He said, as truth was put on trial that day, there were three voices that were heard. Voice number one was Pilate. It's called relativism. See, this is where it gets over my head. And so I don't know if truth exists. He said, and he said the three voices of truth that were heard then are still heard today. So relativism, he said, he scoffed as if no one can know the truth, and said to Romans, truth was subjective. I have my truth, you have your truth. It's all truth. So it's all relative. And it said, and it said, and again, it is hard to say. Then he asked, is that statement relative or truth? He said it's meaningless, and there's absolute relativism. There's no purpose and no value or meaning for existence. Listen, we're just going to keep going because I really had a hard time with that one. Number two, second voice is humanism. So humanism believes that humans are the height of evolution. In other words, there's nobody greater than a human. So I'm my own God. I will help myself. I don't need anybody else to help me. I am my own way. Humanism is the top rung of the apex. And he reads, the chief priests and the elders, however, persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas to execute Jesus. The governor asked them, which of the two do you want me to release to you? Barabbas, they answered. Pilate asked them, what should I do then with Jesus, who is called Christ? They all answered, crucify him. That was Matthew 27, verse 20 to 22. That was B. So he said, this same Jewish crowd had seen Jesus perform miracles. They had seen him heal people. They had listened to his preaching and teaching. So it's not like he was some stranger to them. And he said the definition of the name Barabbas, he said back in those days, they would choose names based on their meaning. And he said the meaning of Barabbas is son of man, son of humanity. So Jesus, who is the Son of God, had to be crucified in order for son of humans to live. Number three, the third voice is I am the truth, which is Jesus. And then he said a few hours before Pilate asked that same question about truth, they were having a conversation, and Jesus told him, I am the truth. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you know me, you will also know my Father. From now on, you do know him and have seen him. Meaning, if you see Jesus, you see God. That's John 14, verse 6 to 7. And he said it's an exclusive. It's not all inclusive. It's exclusive. It's a statement, but it's the truth. And 6 hours after he was crucified, he said, "It is finished." And he said, after the ground shaking and the darkness coming over, he said, a soldier said, "Truly, this man is the Son of God." D said, so then the next day, whenever women were at the tomb, the angel told the women, "Do not be afraid, because I know you are looking for Jesus, who is crucified. He is not here, for he has risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay." He said, if he wasn't there, they wouldn't have invited them in to look inside the tomb. And if Jesus didn't rise from the grave, there's been a lot of conversations about how heavy those stones are and the way they're built at a slant so that they roll. That pastor talked about that last year, how it rolls into the groove. And it would take several Roman soldiers to push the tomb and then to close it, and even more to open it. And so the fact that people say, "Oh, the disciples came and took it," he said that would be impossible, because they were just, not very muscular. They were little fishermen and whatever, tax collectors. They were not like Roman soldiers. So nobody could have come and taken the body. And he said that had it have been able to be proven back then that Jesus was just stolen, then all the Jewish leaders would have found his body and laid him out in the ground in the middle of the streets and be like, "Here's your Jesus. He didn't exist. He didn't raise again. He died. He's dead. See, he's dead." So that's one of the things they talk about. Did I read D? Yeah. So then if Jesus came from the grave, it changes everything. So it says no corpse was left in the grave. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. Because of his great mercy, he has given us new birth into living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. 1 Peter 1 verse 3. And then that's E. So F. And if Christ, this is for 1 Corinthians 15 verse 14. This was Paul, who was formerly Saul, sent in his letter to Corinth. And if Christ has not been raised, our preaching is useless, and so is your faith. And he talked about, how many people saw Jesus after he rose again from the dead, and how many people laid their life on the line. And not many of us would let somebody beat us and hang us and fillet our skin alive, and for something that was not something true that we believed in. If we had, some questions about it, if we weren't sure about it, if we were just like, we wouldn't, there ain't no way. I mean, if somebody said, "Are you Judy's daughter?" and they threatened to skin me alive, I might be tempted to lie. But those 12 disciples were willing to die, and many other Christians were willing to die because of their faith in Jesus. And like I said, people aren't going to just be willing to die and be killed and martyred and put through torture on something they don't believe in. So, all right. So then he said, Paul said there's 456 prophecies in the Old Testament about Jesus. And then he goes to John 10, verse 27 to 28. My sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me. I give them eternal life, and they will never perish. So it's all based on Jesus Christ, not based on the other names, the other religions, the other beliefs. Us going to heaven is determined by our faith in that Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins and rose again. from the grave and ascended to heaven. So here's the big takeaway. What is your blank about Jesus? I think it's truth. So what is your truth about Jesus? I might have to watch the other one to make sure that that's what it was, because that's what fit the most. Anyway, I love y'all. Mom and I are going to go eat at a buffet. So I'm not sure if I'll eat the food there or the buffet. I'll see how it looks. I might get me some kettle beef and mashed taters. We'll see. All right. It's Easter. I love you guys. Happy Easter. Jesus is risen. He is risen indeed. Oh, look at my shirt. I got this off the Amazon. It says, a lot can happen. A lot can happen in 3 days. There he is with the crown and the 3 nails and the cross. And he is risen. Oh, did I show y'all my necklace too? I know I went all out. Look, it is. I got this on Amazon also. It's a picture. It's a tomb. It's a grave with the stone rolled away. And it says he is risen. Hang on. Let me see if I can come a little closer. Hang on. I don't know if you can see that. Amazon. He is risen. Okay. Love you guys. Bye. No macros today. It's the Lord's calories. I'll show you what I show you. Bye. Y'all, I'm not going to take you up to show you the buffet. Just know they have a wide variety of things, and I'll show you my plate whenever I get my other part. But it is a build your own salad and then build your own other plate. A real big group just came in, so I figured I better get some. So I've got kettle beef, mashed potatoes, some chicken, ham, 1 bite of dressing, and a piece of broccoli with cheese. So there we go. So I got my salad and my main, and we'll see what I do next. All right, I got another piece of chicken. And by the way, I did not eat the skin. I got a little bit of green bean casserole, another piece of broccoli with cheese, and some corn. And that's what I'm having. And that's going to be it, because they have a whole bunch of cakes and stuff up there, and I definitely don't need that. It was just an old country buffet. I mean, you know, the chicken was good. I had 2 pieces of fried chicken. Salad was good, but the rest of it, anyway, I got poop. All right, I'll see you all when I get home. Bye. All right, it wouldn't be Jesus and Judy Day without Judy.
Here I am.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Bye. I'll tell you one thing. I'm about tired of my part of the country. We're under another tornado watch. I tell you, spring has sprung. Anyway, something I did this weekend to kind of get ready for the upcoming week. I had bought some frozen, a bunch of these. And I thought, I remember I had bought an air fryer to try. Hang on, let me help Lou outside just a second. Okay, he's still adjusting to my, he has not had to have the crown of shame on, because some people it's a cone, but for him, he is a drama queen, and that means it is a crown. It is a crown of shame. So anyway, if y'all remember, we bought this air fryer. Y'all told me, oh, you need an air fryer. You can do so much with it. And me being who I am, like, yeah, okay, whatever. I bought it, and it was not expensive. But something I have at the bottom of this is, what I didn't like is that I had to clean it so much, but I think I was more worried about that than I needed to be. So we're going to start over, and I watched some videos. Some of them they preheated, some of them they did not. So we're going to knock and see how that goes. And 4 burger patties can fit in this. I already have some ground beef that I'll take for tomorrow. But what I saw was they said 360 degrees and anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes total. So I'm going to flip it after 4. No, I think they said flip it after 6 minutes. So I'm going to put this in and we're going to check it in 6 minutes. Let's see. But in order for it to tell me it's ready to flip, I think I have to put it, because I think it'll stop halfway through. So anyway, all right, I'll let you know how it's going. All right, it's been 6 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and flip it. That's how they look. Some people spray it with oil, some people season them. I'm not going to season them, so that's how it's looking right now after 6 minutes. You see it? All right, let's keep going. We'll do I don't know. Ooh, I need to save this spatula though. Well, I'll check it. I'll check it in 3 more minutes. So 6, 7, 8. That'll be a total of 9 minutes. So I'll check it in 3 minutes. And by the way, tonight's creamy is Cake Donut Keto Chow, brought to you by Miss Diana Goforth. And look, you were not kidding, Diana. No residue. It came right off, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Boop, boop, boop. Thank you, Diana. So that tonight's creamy sticker is brought to you by Diana. Thank you. All right, it's been 3 more minutes, so hang on just a second. Let's take a look. I don't know. I'm going to pull them out and let them rest. So it'll be a total of 6 minutes and then 3 minutes. Sometimes that gunk on it, it's just not really what it, because the other side doesn't look that way. So, anyway, so I guess I just leave it like that. I don't know. I'm just going to put it away and see what happens. And, stop. All right, we're going to leave it cracked. All right, so that's what we're having, but I got to get some ketchup and get my creamy ready. So, hey, why don't y'all go ahead and get ready and get comfy, and I'll meet you in the living room, okay? Get yourself something to drink, something to snack on, because we'll have us a little tete-a-tete. I think that word means have us a little talk, little conversation, little heart-to-heart. So we're going to have us a little tete-a-tete. I'll be right back. Go on now. Get you something to drink or something, because you might be parched. Y'all, my mama made some deviled eggs. You know, Easter, when we was a kid, you know, we would dye eggs and stuff a couple days before, and then, you know, we'd hunt them. They'd hide them throughout the house. Back in my day, they didn't have plastic eggs. Well, they had them, but that ain't what we got. We had to have the old-fashioned kind, the real ones. So anyway, so ours were probably outside and inside for about 10 hours throughout the day, because we'd find them the first time. Trying to get this straightened out. And then we'd go hide them and find them again all day long. At some point, the parents would make us come in so then they could turn them into deviled eggs or whatever they're going to do with them. But anyway, so Mom made some deviled eggs, y'all. So I'll tell you what I got here. So here, 3. I can't show you, but I can show you that. Look at that there, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Editing Terry, before you cut into this burger, remember you did 6 minutes on one side, 3 minutes on the other side. Let me show you what I got here on my plate. Got those 3 eggs, because Mom sent them home with me. Some raw rutabaga, and 4 raw tomatoes, the 2 85% burgers, and ketchup. So I was thinking, I did the math, and the frozen burgers are more expensive than the buying 85% ground meat. I don't remember how much, but they were more expensive. Like whenever I was at my Walmart the other day, I was just curious. But man, is it handy dandy. So I'm what I've been doing is like, okay, so what am I going to do? After I clean out all the meat, not all the meat, but as I clean out a lot of the meat from my refrigerator, just trying to process what is going to be my go-to that I buy all the time, because when I buy the 1-pounders, little things, let's see how this is. Oh yeah, that's good. All right. Got too much seasoning on there. Oh, bad move. Anyway, so 6 minutes on one side and 3 minutes on the other side. Terry, write that on a sticky note and stick it on your Duma flipper. Because I thought, that could save some time. I could do 4 burgers in it. And if I can get that figured out right. So anyway, so I'm having that there. And then this, tonight, it is cake donut, keto chow, just because I had one odd. And so I made just straight keto chow donut. Keto chow cake donut. That's good. That's one I think is better by itself than mixed with the other flavors. Yeah, it's good though. So that's what I got. That's what's going on. I had a great visit with Mom. We kind of, oh yeah. I don't know if y'all remember, but about 3-4 weeks ago, I set up some therapy appointments. And I have my first one tomorrow. I'll tell you how it goes. It's tomorrow after work. So what I'll do is I'll come home like around 12, let the dogs out. And then after work, I won't feed them. I'll just go to that therapy appointment. I think it's 30 minutes, so I'd be home by 6. So I'm just thinking I'm not so worried about them overall going to the bathroom, but more about Lou because he's going to be on the steroid. So anyway, I'll keep my eye on it and see how it goes. But so yeah, so that's tomorrow after work. So we'll see how it goes. But that's all I got for y'all today. Happy Easter. I love you. Bye.